And joining us now from Detroit, Michigan, with more on what this new Facebook-centric phone means for the social media's giant mobile strategy going forward is Kyle Bazzy. He's the president of Benzinga. Kyle, thanks again for joining us. Let's get straight into it. Facebook unveiling the home software in an effort to place the social media network front and center on Android smartphones. Facebook's been a little slow into entering the mobile space. Is this a big step forward for the company?
You know, what I really like about it is the bold move. And everyone thinking they're going to come out with a phone, they come out with something that wasn't an operating system, it wasn't an app, it was what they're calling a launcher. And I think that's really interesting. And as your last guest just said before this, is people look at their home screen 100 times a day. So I really like the play into the mobile space here, because you're able to monetize that in a great way. As you know, like I said, the people in their eyes are always on their home screen phone. So I think it's a great play for Facebook.
Okay, so bottom line, more eyes on the home screen phone. Is this going to boost advertising sales and generate any additional revenue?
So a bold move always goes one of two ways. It goes really well or it doesn't go really well. And I think if they pull this off, obviously going with HTC, but they went with Android, and I think that's a really great move, because Android really owns a ton of the market share, that you're going to have a ton of those eyes. And as long as they get the adoption, they make it easy to use, and people really see the value of being able to connect socially with their friends, families, and their network off of their home screen, then yeah, I do think that the advertising revenue that's going to come from this is going to be a lot greater than computers, because as Mark said in the conference, there's more cell phones and more smartphones out in or people have access to them more than they have access to computers. So I think obviously that is the right move.
Now, if you have an HTC phone, can you opt out of this being on your home screen? I mean, for people that may find that this is information overload, can you just revert to the conventional Facebook app?
Well, I think there's actually a deeper question there, right? If that is the case, then it's not just the HTC market, because they don't own the giant share. It's really the whole Android market itself with like Samsung. So if the HTC people aren't going to want to use it, if you have the app on your Samsung phone, are you going to want to use it? And I think that's really what they're gonna see if the success lies, is how well can people adapt to it. What's the value are they getting from it? And are they providing that through their mobile experience? And I think it was smart not going into the hardware. They needed to concentrate on this actual software to make it work.
Well, Google shares were down about 1% today. Was this due to the Facebook news? I mean, will this divert users from Google services and steal some of its rivals' momentum?
Michelle, it's funny, I've been saying this all day. I don't think that the story is really Facebook versus Google. I think this is a win for Google because of the Android market. Facebook chose them over the iOS. So really I look at this as a Google win over Apple. And really the way I'm looking at it is Google wants people on their phones, right? So with Facebook coming to their operating system, they've now taken the biggest social network in the biggest website in terms of interactions and time spent in the entire world, and now put it onto their mobile devices. So I think it's an actual win for Google in the long run, and I think people are going to see that, because now there's another reason not to get an iPhone.
Okay, well, switching gears a bit, the Securities and Exchange Commission made an announcement earlier this week that companies can use social media to communicate important information. Now, keep in mind, public companies are legally obliged to disclose all information that may be pertinent to shareholders. So is this a big win for companies like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn? Does it raise their profile as a go-to place for real, up-to-date news?
Yeah, well, we all know that government entities are always lagging behind the times, and I think this is just a regulating body acknowledging what Facebook and Twitter actually are. I think for Facebook and Twitter, they already knew this, and a lot of people already knew this. It's really just the government entity coming in and saying, okay, we're also recognizing that you guys are a main source of news and media now.
Still pretty much a significant move getting that recognition. Kyle Bazzy, thanks so much for joining us again. Kyle Bazzy,
Thanks.
president of Benzinga.